Breaking. Seattle Seahawks pull off a 3-for-1 trade with the Las Vegas Raiders. The perfect move? Seahawks news. Seahawks fans are buzzing after reports of a massive 3-for-1 swap with the Raiders that could reshape the roster overnight. Giving up 3 assets for one major piece signals one thing. Seattle believes they've found a true difference-maker. Is this a win-now statement, or a risky gamble that could thin out depth? 12s are split right down the middle. Some are calling it genius roster management. Others are worried about what was sacrificed. One thing's clear. If this new addition performs, this could go down as one of the boldest front office moves in recent Hawks history. Stay tuned. Reactions are exploding. Breaking news out of the NFL today, and this one could shake up the entire landscape of the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks have reportedly pulled off a stunning 3-for-1 trade with the Las Vegas Raiders, and fans are already asking the big question: is this the perfect move to push Seattle back into serious contention? If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because when major Seahawks news drops, you know we're breaking it down in full detail. Let's get straight into it. According to multiple reports, Seattle has acquired a premier defensive playmaker from the Raiders in exchange for 3 assets, 2 mid-round draft picks, and a young rotational player who showed flashes last season. On the surface, giving up 3 pieces for one player might sound like a steep price. But when you dig deeper into what this move means for the roster, the scheme, and the long-term direction of the franchise, it starts to look a whole lot more calculated. First, let's talk about why Seattle would even consider a 3-for-1 deal in the first place. This front office has always valued draft capital. Historically, they've been known for trading down, stockpiling picks, and finding hidden gems. So when they decide to package multiple assets for a single proven player, that tells you something. It tells you they believe this isn't just a good player. This is a difference maker.
The biggest issue for the Seahawks over the past 2 seasons has been consistency on defense. We've seen stretches where they look dominant, flying to the ball, forcing turnovers, controlling the line of scrimmage. But then we've also seen games where they struggle to generate pressure, where the secondary gets exposed, and where opposing quarterbacks have far too much time in the pocket. This trade appears to address that exact problem. The incoming Raiders star is known for versatility. He can line up on the edge, drop into coverage, blitz from different angles, and create chaos in the backfield. That kind of flexibility is priceless in today's NFL. Offenses are more creative than ever.
They spread you out. They motion constantly. They force mismatches.
Having a defender who doesn't tip your hand and can adjust on the fly gives the coaching staff a massive advantage. Now let's look at what Seattle gave up. 2 mid-round picks are valuable, no doubt. Those are the rounds where championship teams often find key contributors. But draft picks are also projections. You're betting on potential. You're hoping a college standout can transition to the pro level. Sometimes it works beautifully. Other times it doesn't. By trading those picks, Seattle is choosing certainty over possibility. The young player included in the deal is the part that may sting for some fans. He showed flashes. He had moments where you thought, okay, this guy could develop into something special. But development takes time, and the Seahawks appear to be operating with a sense of urgency. They're not just building for 3 years from now. They're trying to win now. That urgency makes sense when you look at the division. The NFC West remains one of the toughest divisions in football. Every game is a battle. If you're even slightly weak at one position, opposing teams will exploit it over and over again. Adding a proven defensive weapon could be the difference between finishing second and winning the division outright. Another key factor here is leadership. The player coming from Las Vegas isn't just talented. He's experienced. He's played in big games. He's been the focal point of offensive game plans. That kind of presence can elevate everyone around him. Young defenders learn how to prepare, how to study film, how to handle pressure. Veterans feed off the energy and confidence he brings. Chemistry is always a question with mid-season or even off-season trades, but everything we've heard suggests this is a high-character individual who fits the Seahawks culture. That matters. You can't just plug in talent and expect it to work if the mindset doesn't align. Financially, the deal is also fascinating. Seattle has been careful with the salary cap, structuring contracts to maintain flexibility. Taking on a bigger contract means they believe the value outweighs the cost. It also signals confidence in their ability to manage the cap moving forward. You don't make this move unless you've done the math. Let's talk scheme for a second. Defensive coordinators love players who allow them to disguise coverage and pressure packages. Imagine 3rd and long. You've got this new acquisition lined up on the edge. The offense assumes he's coming. At the snap, he drops into coverage and a linebacker blitzes through the gap he vacated. Confusion, hesitation, sack. That's the type of chess move this trade unlocks. And think about the ripple effect. If this defender consistently draws double teams, that frees up other pass rushers. It creates one-on-one opportunities. Suddenly, the entire defensive front looks more dangerous. Turnovers increase. Field position improves. And when your offense starts drives closer to midfield instead of inside their own 20, everything changes. Of course, there are risks. What if injuries strike? What if the player doesn't adapt as quickly as expected? What if those mid-round picks turn into breakout stars for the Raiders? Trades like this are bold because they come with real consequences. But standing still in the NFL can be just as risky as making a big move. From the Raiders' perspective, this deal also makes sense. They're gaining draft capital, adding a young player, and possibly reshaping their roster for the future. Sometimes teams are simply at different stages of their competitive cycle. What feels like an all-in move for one franchise can be a strategic reset for another. But make no mistake, this is Seattle sending a message. They're telling the league they believe their window is open. They're telling their locker room that management is willing to invest in winning. And they're telling fans that they're not content with just being competitive, they want to be contenders. Social media has already exploded with reactions. Some fans love the aggression. Others are worried about mortgaging the future. That's the beauty of a 3-for-1 trade. It sparks debate. It forces you to evaluate how much you value potential versus proven production. Personally, when you look at the trajectory of this roster, the move feels aligned with where they are. They've drafted well in recent years. They've built a solid core on both sides of the ball. Adding a high-impact defender could be the final piece that turns a good team into a great one. There's also the psychological factor. When a front office makes a bold trade, it energizes the fan base. It energizes the players. Practices get more competitive. Expectations rise. Sometimes that emotional boost translates directly onto the field. Imagine the first home game after this player debuts in a Seahawks uniform. The crowd buzzing. the anticipation every time the defense takes the field. That energy can be intimidating for opposing offenses.
Momentum is real in this league. At the end of the day, the success of this trade will be judged by results, playoff wins, defensive rankings, clutch moments in critical games. If this player delivers in those situations, no one will care about the picks that were given up. So, is this the perfect move? Perfection in the NFL is rare. But in terms of addressing a clear need, acquiring proven talent, and signaling intent, this is about as close as it gets. The Seahawks identified a weakness, found a solution, and acted decisively. Now it's up to the coaching staff to integrate the new piece. It's up to the player to live up to the expectations. And it's up to the team as a whole to capitalize on the opportunity. One thing is certain. The balance of power in the NFC West just got a lot more interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did Seattle give up too much? Or is this the bold, aggressive move that pushes them over the top?